Good afternoon, everyone. I'm PC Outcast, and this is more of Ambition. And apparently Camille has entered our bedroom, already full of good cheer. She's kind of scares me. Madame, what would you like to get? When would you like to start getting ready? Yes, I promise to stop saying before each things. This is also more characterization. Okay, no problem. Oh my god, it's not time yet, Camille. I still have some things I need to take care of today. Morning of the party. Camille winces at this statement and looks at the floor. I don't know how to tell you this, madame, but party preparations for a woman of your station usually take all day. On days where you have a party, you won't really have time to spend exploring Paris. Once you go to your wardrobe, we can get started. You know what? I've been skipping all the tutorials. That might be a terrible idea. So we're going to continue. Don't worry, Camille. I'm already quite good at this. Thank you very much. But of course you are, madame, of course. Camille laughs, following you as you start to get ready for the party. Yes. Okay, apparently I just got ready. Everything is gonna be fine. Okay, not gonna wear this. The provincial outfit. Oh, I see. I actually didn't have the provincial outfit on. This party is being held by the Crown. They like conservative gowns. Sometimes they like Morocco ensembles and robes a la Polonaise, or something. I'm just my way of speaking French is just to drop most of the letters. So, you know, something like that. Madame de Foy, private gathering. Viscountess Marcel. Marseille, probably Marseille, right? Marseille de Foy. Private gathering is an intimate gathering of her most loyal peers for fine entertainment and elegant merriment. You're most eagerly awaited. Great, I'm exhausted. -5 credibility right off the bat. Yay. If we wear the provincial outfit, we will be basically even with the Crown Church. I forgot to look up this word. Bourgeois. And the revolution, but the military will like us. If we wear the robe à la Française, the Crown and the Church won't like it very much, but the military, the bourgeois, and the revolution will like it. There. And that's what we bought it for, right? When your carriage drops you off at the party, you find yourself waiting in line for quite some time. Looking at the other guests, you wonder if you're underdressed or overdressed. It's honestly hard to tell. Yeah, isn't it always? You look over yourself one last time and confirm that you're wearing your robe à la Française to the party being held by the Crown. Credibility down. Guests disapprove of your outfit and your credibility is decreased. Well, yeah. With preparations like this, tonight could go poorly if you aren't careful. Oh God, can you believe what she's wearing? While you are determining your standing in the world of fashion, you manage to overhear an interesting rumor while in line. Make a mental note of it just in case. You've gained a piece of cheap Crown gossip. This will be useful later. Cheap Crown gossip will be useful, okay. Unfortunately, you can feel exhaustion set in as soon as you think of the full itinerary ahead of you. Tonight is going to be a long night. Credibility down. Being exhausted has given you a credibility penalty as well. Lovely. Immediately upon entering the vestibule, you're greeted by a doorman holding a small ledger. While he isn't physically barring your entry, his manner certainly is. Name, madame? He asks expectantly. How should I? Well, I obviously can't say I am the Baron Armand. Huh. I mean, that's who I'm supposed to be with, right? Although, we've heard nothing but bad things about... Let's just go ahead and introduce ourselves as ourselves. Yvette Dicker.
Oh.
Our man looks perplexed at you for a moment, flipping through his ledger. I do not see your name here, madam. That's fine. I am with Baron Armand. And his date. He could not attend.
Oh.
That is most unfortunate. The doorman replies, surprisingly disappointed. The good Countess Differ was so looking forward to seeing him tonight. Please convey our deepest regrets at his absence. Our well wishes to his health. Is there anything I can get you? Ooh. That's gonna cost me... This is the money, right? Let's just go with... Well, yeah, it's gonna cost money. Please convey my deepest gratitude to our hostess. I'm so eager to meet her.
Huh.
Oui, madame. I shall make sure that the Viscountess hears of it myself. You hear some murmurs from other guests in the vestibule. Your gratitude and enthusiasm seem to have made an impression on them, though the doorman seems rather unfazed. You have gained a little credibility. Hey! After being... Oh, you can't go into the negative? That's good to know. You've just gained some credibility, because we already took 2 hits to credibility starting off, but apparently we're still up by 5. So we can only go down to 0. That's good to know. The more credibility you have, the easier it is for you to deceive someone during a credibility check. Well, that's good to know. Before you can ask any other questions, he bows deeply you to you. Yes. Pardonnez-moi, madame. Viscountess Differ instructed me specifically to inform her as soon as you had arrived. We've heard so much about you. Enjoy the party, he says with a smile before leaving. Okay. I was supposed to be told... She wanted to be told right away. Is that the... That looks like the guy that we spoke to at the bar, or the tavern. And actually, that looks like the young guy that was at the tavern as well. Interesting. Oh, and that is one of the ladies that rushed past us. Okay, I'm seeing a bit of a something here, a little bit of a common thread. I guess these are some of the characters. Well, we didn't get a chance to talk to this guy, so. Well, I have no idea what this means. 10 to 5 credibility. Some guests are admiring a painting of the hostess. Apparently, it was painted by someone of considerable skill. In fact, you might even be able to meet such a person later. This will gain, I think, means gain favor with Elizabeth. There's a chance of anywhere from 0 to 5 peril. Maybe. 0 to 10. Cheap crown gossip. We already have that. A pair of ladies were whispering amongst themselves about some rumor concerning the family of His Majesty King Louis the XVI. That information could be useful later. The gentleman who just entered the room seems like he's been to quite a few of these sorts of events. Perhaps he can tell you more about the host of the party. Let's do this. We'll get a little bit of favor, maybe. In one corner of the party, you find two guests clustered around a painting hanging on the wall. They're talking in low voices to themselves. Which is the painting that they're talking about? It's not that one. It's supposed to be of the hostess. You pause to examine the painting yourself. It's a beautiful piece that shows the hostess standing in a field posing with her dog. The eyes and lips in particular look marvelously lifelike. Do you have any idea how Marcel managed to get these? Sorry, it's probably Marseille. I keep on saying, whatever, Marcel, it's fine. A man asks, his face the picture of shock, not taking his eyes off the painting for a moment. He must know the Viscountess Defoe very well in order to use her name so freely. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he just used her first name. So, like, referred to her by her first name. I have no idea, the woman replies, glancing furtively around the room. Ever since Madame Lebrun started painting portraits of the Queen herself, she seems to feel that she's above normal social niceties. It must have cost a fortune just to make an opening in Madame Lebrun's schedule. You assume that the Madame Lebrun knew much about social niceties to begin with, the man quips, and the two of them share a sly chuckle at the absent artist's expense. So sweet. You'd think that someone who worked on commission would care a little more about what others thought of her. The woman turns and asks you furtively, what do you think of Madame Lebrun and her eccentricities? Okay, this is going to... requires an easy credibility challenge. This choice will increase your peril by a little bit. Not even great painters are above the consequences of society. I have always found that not even the great painters are above the consequences of society. Lebrun will have hers yet. You mark my words, girl. Yes. I think we'll all see that soon enough. The woman titters? I've never seen that word before. Trying to laugh behind her hand. The real question is, if she falls out of favor, would she even notice? Her friend asks. Oh, that's him. The real question is, if she falls out of favor, would she even notice? Am I right or am I right? Her friend asks with an arched eyebrow. For a moment you feel close to these strangers as you all laugh together at the expense of someone who isn't here. The joy is all this time. Favor with Elizabeth went down. Spend a few minutes with the... Oh, but our credibility is up. Spend a few minutes with these guests, slyly passing judgment on various prominent members of high society. Oh. Apparently, some people are not liking that. You have gained credibility, you've lost favor with Madame Lebrun, you'll meet her later. That's too bad. After a few minutes with an exchange of polite nods, you part ways with your erstwhile friends in order to explore the rest of the party. Ugh. Okay, so now you can't choose any of those people again. We only have one option. A lady with her dog. It's Marcel herself. A woman in a staggeringly pink dress is approaching you, carrying her pet dog. Judging by the way other guests are looking at her, you can surmise that this is the Viscountess Marcel Defoe. Defoe. I don't know. I don't think it's Defoe. The woman who invited you and Armand here. Ooh. Big credibility, also big peril. That's the most credibility we've ever had. Oh my goodness, look at that face. That is the face of a kind and gentle woman. You nearly mistake the woman standing in front of you for some kind of walking confection. A pampered dog lounges in her arms. I don't believe we've had the chance to properly introduce ourselves. I am Viscountess Marcel Defoy. Her voice rises in volume imperceptibly, but it's enough to draw the attention of the large crowd in the room. Everyone, this is Yvette, Armand's fiancée. A murmur of interest washes through the crowd, and you can feel her eyes focus on you.
Ah.
I'm so glad to see you, Armand. That ambitious little thing has told me so much about you. In fact, I'd say that he is quite infatuated with you. A common girl like yourself, you are so lucky. You've gained a little credibility. Quite a bit, actually. We didn't get the 20, at least not yet. Where is Armand, by the way? We'll just lie. Oh, yeah, Armand's kind of sick. I mean, ill at the moment, but he just insisted that I should attend anyway. I'm so pleased to be here. That requires a credibility check. Let's try. Ooh. Oh, really? He insisted. Marcel trills and her dog yips happily. That is so sweet of him. Marcel trills and her dog yips happily. Yet again. You've barely arrived from the country and he still wants you to meet all the people he's been so fortunate to associate with. It's very kind of you to represent him like this, and I'm sure that he'll be well soon. I'm sure. Ooh, yeah. I mean, I was hoping he'd show his face here, but he'll do. Uh-oh. I guess it makes sense that you're here. Armand could never stop pestering his betters, so it feels rather appropriate that, even when sick, he'd send his peasant fiancée to do it for him. The crowd, which only seems to be growing, murmurs in agreement. In fact, I almost thought I was rid of him once and for all. Yet, here you are, with a fresh set of nuisances. Does this ever end? Okay, so why did you invite Armand here if you hate his guts? Why? Well, those craven nationalists in their dingy salons like to hide behind their pamphlets and newsletters. People of quality must be brave enough to denounce their enemies in person. Pauses before speaking to you in a whisper loud enough for the entire room to hear her. Don't worry. I don't expect you to understand this. You've lost credibility. I gain it, to lose it, I gain it, to lose it. I didn't lose any peril. I didn't gain peril, so that's good. Your Armand is a conniving, treacherous opportunist who sullies the good name of the entire nobility just by being alive. The only reason he even chose a common girl like you to be his wife is because any lady of good breeding would see him for the weasel that he is. You've lost even more credibility. Marcel studies your face intently for a moment, and her voice suddenly fills with concern. Oh, you poor girl, don't look so hurt. Think of this as education. You don't belong in Paris the same way that a stray cat doesn't belong in that dress. He gestures dismissively at your finery. You've lost even more credibility. We gain, we lose. Trying to look like us? Act like us? Stop. You're embarrassing yourself. Okay. Now, leave my estate and never show your face here again. Well, that went well. I feel that went quite splendidly. Before you can reply, a valet grabs you roughly by the arm and drags you from the room. People like Viscountess Edifo don't need to do their own dirty work. They have servants for that. It takes far longer than you'd like to get outside. As the entryway is crowded with guests preparing to leave, you can feel their eyes weighing heavily on you. When you finally get to the door, you brave a brutish shove, and you stumble out into the courtyard, barely keeping your balance in your heels. The area is equally crowded, with various persons entering their personal carriages. You can hear someone snicker, but you have no idea who it is, or was. The only thing left to do is go home. No, what we do is break in and steal some stuff. Well, that's just fine by me. My face was the only pretty thing in that gaudy house anyway. Boiling over with anger, you turn and rain insults upon the house, upon the host, even upon her dog. In fact, you consider throwing your shoe through one of their windows before you remember how much you like that shoe. It's then that you notice that several of the carriages have stopped just to watch your display. Scanning the faces of your new audience, you see the glaring, unamused faces of the various party guests. Your views on Marcel and the crown in general have not gone unnoticed. The coachmen and valets, on the other hand, think you're hilarious. You've lost some favor with members of the crown. You have gained some favor with members of the revolution. You will meet these people later. You nod to the more appreciative members of your audience before leaving towards your own carriage. When you arrive at the place where your carriage is parked, you quickly find out that it isn't. It's gone. You check to make sure that you're in the right place, but to no avail. The carriage you hired is simply not there. He went home. Passing coachman says helpfully, while adjusting the harness on a particularly grumpy horse. Dorman came about an hour ago and told him you wanted the coach to leave without you. Seemed real important, so he went home. Before he can even respond, he gets his carriage moving, leaving you alone with yet another indignity. Going back to Marcel is obviously unacceptable. It's too far to walk home, and most of the other guests have already left. However, there appear to be 3 carriages waiting to leave, each of them quite different. Perhaps one of them can help. Inspect the humble carriage to the left, the bold carriage in the middle, or the extravagant carriage to the right. I have no idea. I mean, we really think we're too good for ourselves, so inspect the extravagant carriage, of course. Carriage to your right is richly decorated, yet somber. Swags of black crepe hang from the roof of the carriage, leaving only glimmers of gold underneath. The decidedly feminine bent of the decorations indicates that the occupant is a woman, but all of the black suggests that she is in mourning. You consider the extravagant carriage for a moment. Is this who you'd like to ride with? A wealthy widow helping a lost soul in need? It works in the books. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Settled in your decision, you set out, ready to entrust your fortune to a mysterious stranger. The mysterious stranger! The coachman pays you no heed as you approach the sumptuously decorated carriage. Normally you find yourself to be quite fearless in social situations, but something about this whole scenario gives you pause. Should you knock on the door? Call out? You've heard that courtiers in Versailles grow out one of their fingernails so they can scratch on the door. Is it considered less disruptive? Locked in the cycle of indecision, you curse the fact that you cut your nails this morning. What seems to be the trouble? What seems to be troubling you, madame? Calls out a voice from inside the carriage. Just straight out. Either straight out or, try to be nice. May I bother you for a ride home? My carriage kind of left without me. There's a bit of a mix-up, you know. Certainly, I should be able to help with that, the voice replies. You hear some rustling from inside the carriage, and she opens the door for you. Help yourself into the carriage. Okay. After a few seconds, your eyes adjust to the shadows, and you see the woman in front of you. She's older than yourself, but still younger than you'd expect. Dressed in luxurious mourning clothes, she reclines easily in her seat, clutching a fine glass filled with water. My name is Honorat. What should I call you, madame? I have no idea how to pronounce that. Dico. Yvette Dico. It's a pleasure to meet you, Yvette Dico. Shall we be off? Knocks delicately on the roof compartment, and with a clean crack of the coachman's whip, the carriage makes way towards Paris. While I saw you a few times during the party tonight, I know that you're new to Paris. We never had a chance to properly introduce ourselves. However, I did manage to hear about your most unfortunate run-in with our hosts. Why were they so dreadfully cruel to you? Apparently, they're like enemies with my fiance or something, and I guess they wanted to snub him by berating me. Can you believe that? Anurad doesn't speak for a while, instead choosing to stare into her glass of water with an expression of surprise and disgust. How vile, she replies. To find a person who has been beset by such great misfortune, then to mistreat them so, just to posture among one's cohorts, that is truly despicable.
Ah.
You must be quite strong to endure such dreadful treatment. Oh, okay. We actually gained favor with her. I thought she was maybe, I don't know what the word is. I can't think of the right word. I thought she was, whatever. But not being honest, let's just say. She examines you intently while she sips her water. I assume you are already planning your revenge, no? I know I would be. After a long silence, Anurad leans over to the window and looks out through one of the few spots not obscured by black crepe. Now, I'm sure you already know just how dangerous it is to accept rides home from strangers. We could be going anywhere right now and you wouldn't even know it. You're slightly uncomfortable, probably because she's making a good point. You stop to wonder if you'd be any good at leaping from a moving carriage. Anurad, pardon me. Anurad interrupts your train of thought, but of course the best way to fix that is by not being strangers. Ask me some questions so you may properly judge my character. Please, indulge me. What would you like to know? How long have you been in mourning? Sighs. That is a reasonable question, though not one I like answering. You see, as of last week, it's been 2.5 years. You maintain a neutral expression, but you can't help but dwell on the fact that 2.5 years is far longer than any prescribed period of mourning. You've heard of widows wearing a black weeper on their gowns for a few months, longer than most, but this is something else entirely. You're very polite. Most, when they hear that, take it upon themselves to chide me for my breach of decency. What do you think? Is 2.5 years too long to mourn for lost love? Life is for the living. Well, I don't know. There's something kind of romantic about casting aside decency for the sake of grief. I think so too, Anurad replies, her lips twisting up into a devilish smile. How can we say that we love someone if we're not willing to defy the rules of decency to do it? Indeed. We yearn for a beloved that would do anything for us and us for them. Yet the moment we see a pair of lovers actually behaving this way, we tell them that they're sick or wicked. I'm glad to know you haven't fallen into that little trap yourself. Forgive me for being rude, but I imagine... Oh, pardon me. I imagine your next question is that you're wondering how I know our host. It's not wrong. To answer your question, which you didn't ask before, which I've so rudely stated for you, I don't. Not really, at least. She chuckles into her glass before taking a leisurely sip. Of course, now that I know what they did to you, I have no intention of getting to know that conniving wretch at all. Until a few years ago, I was actually quite the homebody. My husband's textile mills made more than enough money for me to live a life of leisure. Which he was happy to let me do. Now I'm sure he was frustrated by my unwillingness to attend all the big parties his clients would throw. Crowds don't really suit me, you see. I prefer more intimate gatherings. Oh, you're an introvert. However, when Charles passed, I kept getting invitations. He had so many friends, and I hated the idea of letting him down more than the idea of being in a room filled with people I don't care about, so I started going. Ha! Listen to me. That was certainly more than you asked for. Now, what about you? What made you come to Paris? Oh, I always dreamed of being in Paris. It is the city in the center of the world, after all. Am I right? Mm-hmm. She may only be a few years older than you, but the way Anurad smiles at your answer is almost nostalgic. Running away to the beauty of Paris? To see and be seen among the philosophers and the persons of fashion? That's really sweet. And I'm not just making fun. You are a sweet woman. The journey to your home in Paris lasts for a long time, but it doesn't feel that way. Anurad plays the part of hostess wonderfully, always managing to guide the conversation in a satisfying direction. Unlike so many other of the persons you've met in Paris, she seems completely uninterested in polite small talk, focusing instead on more interesting subjects. Love and loss, passion and transgression. You barely notice it when the carriage arrives at your home. Without interrupting you, Anurad signals to Rene. The coachman silently hops from his box at the head of the carriage and opens your door for you. Anurad offers her hand to help you up as you get out of your seat. When you take her hand, you find yourself looking into her eyes. Yvette, may I ask you to do something for me? And what would that be? When I introduced myself earlier, I told you to call me Anurad. Now that I've spoken with you a little more, I've had a change of heart. I would much prefer if you call me Madame Gazelle when you address me. Would you be comfortable with that? Why exactly? She examines you carefully before continuing. Because any relationship with another is about more than who they are. It's also about who that other sees you as. And I think that any relationship we have moving forward would be more pleasurable if you referred to me by that title. Do you understand me? Yes, I do. No, I don't think I'm comfortable with seeing you that way, Anurad. For a moment, she seems disappointed, but quickly returns to normal. No matter. It was a mere flight of fancy. She helps you down from the carriage and into the street in front of your house. Hopefully we shall meet again soon. Bonne night, I guess? That's good night, right, Yvette? She says to you before Rene closes the carriage door. Soon, with a crack of his whip overhead, the coachman spurs the horses into action and the carriage winds through the streets and disappears into the night. You've gained some favor with Honorad. You turn to your home and see the Camille is already there, holding the door open for you. Who was that? She asks. A very intriguing woman. One that I'm hoping to see more of, actually. Your mind brimming with new possibilities, you step inside and head upstairs. Slowly, you get undressed and open your journal to record exactly what transpired tonight. After party report. I guess this is probably a good place to stop. We gained some cheap crown gossip. The queen was recently seen bedecked in a spectacular new diamond necklace. Is it a sign of royal power or unnecessary excess? We did end up gaining 5 credibility out of the whole thing. We lost favor with Elizabeth, but we gained quite a bit with Honorad. Awesome. And that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. We'll see you next time.